Hello everyone, you're watching Newegg TV. I'm Jennifer, and today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the Legacy MX2 mid-tower cases from Rosewill. Let's start off by taking a look at the outside of the case. Now this is a full aluminum, brushed aluminum actually, exterior, which is very pretty to look at, especially in the silver color. You have an optical drive right here at the front. Also we have power, a microphone and headphone jack, 2 USB 2.0 and 2 USB 3.0. Now the dimensions of this case are 7.8 inches by 16.57 inches by 17.5 inches, or 200 millimeter by 421 millimeter by 445 millimeter for you metric enthusiasts. The weight is 7.4 kilograms or 16.31 pounds, which actually makes this very light for its size. That aluminum going to work for you there. Now spinning it around to one of the sides, you can see that it has no cutouts, but it does have this very nicely styled rounded finish to it. The cutout here at the bottom serves to get the case up off the ground and provide enough ventilation in here to keep things nice and cool, while also making it look quite pretty without feet. Coming around now to the back side of the case, let's take a look at what's going on back here. You'll notice no thumb screws. So if you need to take this apart, you are going to have to get out a screwdriver, but that shouldn't be necessary in the installation process because everything inside is laid out very well. So we have two 80 millimeter fan mounting points here, your I/O shield cutout, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this many expansion slots, but actually really kind of only 6 because the bottom one is taken up by the interior installed fan, so you can't actually use that one. Anyway, moving on, you'll notice right here there is a port for your power cord, but no on-off switch. That is because this is actually a power pass-through to the power supply, which is mounted in the front of the case, and I will show you where that goes in just a little bit. Coming around now to the other side, you'll notice it matches the first side identically with just this nice brushed solid aluminum side panel here. Now for a quick glance at the top and bottom. This is the bottom of the case. You have two rubberized feet here that are more like rubberized kind of stickers just to keep it from sliding around. And then we can bring it over to the top, and here you have one pre-installed 140 millimeter fan and the ventilation cutout for that. Alright, so you may notice that with no thumb screws and no way to slide off the panels, you might be wondering, how do those come off? Well, it's very easy. They are just pressure clips, so you just pull gently and it comes right off, and also reinstalling these is a breeze. I'm just going to set this on the floor. Okay, let's take a look at, now this is the inside of the left case, so you're seeing the back of the motherboard tray. We have one 2.5 inch drive point mount here if you want to put in an SSD or a slim HDD. Also lots of little tie down points, but they are here, and a nicely rubber grommeted wire cable management port here as well as here, and then the cable management port for all of the included wiring. You can see the inside of the drive cage here. You get three 3.5 inch drive options here, and then at the top of the cage, which I'll show you on the other side, there's a mounting point for your optical drive. Now let's talk about the business end of the case. So on the inside here you can see that it is painted black, and this is actually steel, not aluminum construction in here, but that'll give you some nice durability. You can see your drive bays here. As I mentioned before, you get 3.5 inch, and then up here up top is where your optical drive will mount. Over here on the motherboard tray you can see there are pre-installed brass standoffs. Now this motherboard tray is pre-configured for ATX, but you can also put in micro ATX, UATX, or ITX motherboards. You just remove the standoffs and install them however you need to. As I mentioned also, you have a 140 millimeter fan and 220 millimeter fans pre-installed. Now that leaves you to wonder, what is this big black box? It's not anything to communicate to the mothership or tell people what you're doing on your computer. This is actually hollow, and it's where your power supply is going to go. I'm going to do a little demonstration of how that works because it's very unique in a case to have an inverted and front-mounted power supply, so I want you to have an idea of how you're going to be installing that. Now I need to mention that the CPU cooler in this case cannot be higher than 150 millimeters, and your GPU cannot be longer than 280 millimeters. Also, the PSU is a standard ATX PS2 PSU bay, but cannot be longer than 160 millimeters. The wiring here I've tucked away. Now, as I mentioned, there's a pass-through that's going to go to your power supply, and that's right here. So when I install the power supply, I will illustrate to you how to route this correctly. And then also we have all of the power connectors for the features on the front of the case. Very standard stuff. You've got your SATA and also your USB 2.0 connectors, as well as your power switch, your hard disk LED, and your other LED options, as well as all of the fan connectors, which the two bottom ones have optional Molex if you need to go that route. Okay, so I've put a power supply in here, and you can see it's, well, upside down, backwards, and in the front of the case. Whatever. Anyway, I wanted to point out to you that there are 3 mounting screws here that will hold the cage in place, but since I'm going to pull it out, I've left them off. And then spinning it around to the back, we have all of your cables coming out through here, and then as you need them, you'll route them back through this grommet. At the bottom, there is one more mounting screw for the tray. I'm going to spin it back around to the front now so you can have a look at the tray itself with the power supply inserted. All right, so I'm going to take the tray out here, just so you can get an idea of how it fits. And then this is your power supply pass-through cable, which you will, of course, route a lot better than what I did, right through here underneath. And definitely before you reinsert this into your case, you're going to want to go ahead and switch that on, because there is not a way to access it from the bottom of the case here once the tray is reinstalled. All right, you also get a handy box of accessories. So going through that real quick, we have some very useful tie downs, your motherboard speaker, and some grommets for sound deadening, also some extra standoffs in there, which is great. You get a bunch of baggies of screws and gaskets for whatever you need them for, installing your disk drives, installing optical drives, you know, whatever you got going on. And then, of course, your user manual, which you want to keep on hand during your build. It will be very helpful. All right, well, that wraps up this product overview of the Legacy MX2 mid-tower cases by Rosewill. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please like it and subscribe to our various YouTube channels. Until next time, I'm Jennifer, and thank you for watching Newegg TV.